Hi everyone, so this is the second acid-base video that you're going to get, and this has to do specifically with indicators. So indicators are a substance that change color when it either gains or loses a proton, which in acids and bases we're talking about a hydrogen ion, so H+, which has to do with all the definitions for Bronsted-Lowry acids and bases that we've been talking about. You'll notice in table M from your reference table that each indicator has its own unique color change. Some have a very wide range of pHs and some have a very limited range of pHs. So for example, one that some of you may already be familiar with is phenolphthalein. So this, when it is in a acidic solution to start, it is actually colorless. And when you add base to the solution and it reaches a pH of 9 or above, that is where it's actually going to turn a color of pink. So phenolphthalein, any solution that has a pH of 0 to about 7 is going to be colorless. And then once we get into that 8 or 9 pH range, it's going to shift to a pink color. And the deepness of the pink is going to depend on how basic the solution is. So when you're in that 8 or 9 range, it's actually a lighter pink color, and then when you get past that, it turns into a deeper pink. And I'm going to actually show you, attached to this video is also going to be some demonstrations of some of these various indicators so you can actually see a visual of them. So you'll notice methyl orange is another example. Before this pH of 3.1, it's going to be a red solution. So it's going to be a very acidic solution. Then once we get into that range of 3.1 to 4.4, it's going to start to shift to yellow. And then once we get outside of that 4.4 range, it's going to be a definite yellow color. So methyl orange is actually really only used for basically acids, very strong acids, because it has that limited range. Bromethymol blue, when we have a pH that is from a 0 to about a 6, it's going to be a yellow color. Then once we get into that range of 6 to 7.6, it's going to start to shift to blue. And then once we get outside of that 7.6 range, it's going to be a definite blue color. We just went over phenolphthalein. Litmus. So when we have a pH of 0 to 4.5, it's going to be that red color. Then when we get in, this is a large range. So when we're in that 4.5 to 8.3 range, it's going to be shifting towards the blue color. The closer it is to 4.5, the closer it's going to resemble a red color. Then the closer it is to an 8.3, the more it's going to resemble a blue color. Okay, and then once we get outside that 8.3, then we're going to be full on blue. The Brome Cressyl green, that is when we're in a pH of 0 to 3.8, we're going to have a yellow color. When we get inside that range, it's going to be again making that shift to blue, and then once we get outside that 5.4, we're going to be a full-on blue color. Our thymol blue, when we are below a pH of 8, it's going to be a yellow color. When we're in the mix of 8 to a 9.6, it's going to be shifting to a blue color. Again, you might see like a greenish kind of range in there. And then once we get outside of that 9.6, that's where we're going to see the full blue color. So I have a couple of these to show you. This is how you use that table M in your reference table. So when we are in a pH of 0 to whatever this first number is, that's going to go with this first color listed. When we're at a pH of the second pH listed or above, that's where you're going to have this second color change. So I'll go over these and we'll kind of predict our pHs in the visual that I'm going to show you. All right, hello everyone. So this is I'm going to show you some acid and base kind of titrations, but I'm actually going to go past the neutral point to show you both the indicator's acidic color as well as the indicator's basic color. So in my graduated cylinders and Erlenmeyer flask, I've already put about 20 milliliters of hydrochloric acid, and then I'm going to use sodium hydroxide to titrate them. So we have 3 indicators that are in your reference table on table M, and then I have 3 ones that I wanted to show you because their colors are cool. So this first one, I'm putting them on a stir bar so that you can see the color change. So this is just something that keeps it constantly stirring. Bring it a little closer. So the first one we're going to use is Thymol Blue indicator, which is on your reference table. So I'll put a couple drops of this in there. So you'll see it's a nice pink color when it's in an acidic solution. And we will see what happens now when I add some base. So when I make it now a basic solution. For the sake of time, I'll just dump some in here. You would, for a good titration, you would either pipette the base in there or you would use a burette. And now you see it's this nice purple color when it is a basic solution. So that is Thymol Blue. That is on your table N. So that's one of our indicators that we have. All right. Next one we're going to use also in your table M. It is phenolphthalein. So this is the one I told you about in the first part of this video. So I'll put a couple drops in there. So you see a solution that's still clear, which we did discuss in the beginning part of this video, that when it's in an acidic solution, it's going to be a clear color. So let's see what happens to it as we add some base. So you start to see some glimpses of that pink color. And now if I continue to add more, now when we see that deep pink color, we now know that this is definitely a basic solution. Right? Go orange when it's acidic. So this is methyl orange, which is on your reference table M. So we'll put some drops into our acidic solution. And you see that it is an orange color. And now let's see what happens when we add some base. Start to see a yellow. And now when it's at our basic solution, it is definitely a nice yellow color in there. So that's methyl orange. So those first 3 are in your table M, and then the next 3 I'm going to show you are not, but they're just some fun colors for you to see. This next one I'm showing you is crystal violet. Again, not in your reference table, but a cool one to see. Add some drops to our acidic. So our acidic solution is a very deep green color. And now let's see what happens when we add some base. So now our base is this nice, pretty purple color. This one's tough. If you were to use this in an actual titration, the colors are very similar. They're both very deep colors and dark colors. We started with a deep blue green, and now we're ending with a deep purple. So this one, if you were doing a titration, you'd really have to pay attention when you start to see that purple color. So that's crystal violet. Next one I'm going to show you is a green solution, so we'll see what happens with that when we put it in our acidic solution. So you see it's a nice green color, hence the name of it. And now let's add some base to see what happens. And now you see this is a blue color. Well, these ones are a little bit tougher to see the color change. That green one started off green and now it's a bluish color. So that one, if you were doing a titration, again, it would be hard to see that neutralization point. Whereas the first 3 I did are a lot easier and a lot more clear differences in colors. And then I have one more for you. All right, this last one I did show you in class at one point. This is the universal indicator that we're going to use. So this one has all those pretty colors that we're going to see. So we see it's first starting off at a kind of, reddish orange color. And then let's see what happens when we add our base. and then we end in a nice purple color. This universal indicator one has a lot of different colors for all the different pHs. So had I gone slower and used a pipette or a burette with the bases, you would have seen all of these nice colors in the transition to our purple, from our red to the purple. So that's something we may do when we come back to school. But it's a good representation and visual of what I'm talking about at the beginning of this video with the different indicators and their color changes between an acid and a base.